few more minutes as people are coming on.
Hey, Mary Lou. Who is the guest speaker today?
Today is a rock star, Tierny Jordan. She is amazing. My gosh, she's awesome. Cool. How's everybody doing, everybody? God, it's good to see Eric back on here. Sasha, Dylan, Trish, Jennifer McClellan. How are you, my dear? Good to see you. Always the way. Hey.
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good. Hi, Courtney. Nico, what's up, Ronnie? Good to see you guys here. I like it. Man, all right, camera. Tara, what's up, Tara?
Morning.
Always gangster in them glasses, girl. Morning. I love it. I love it. Who's new? Mary Lou. She's new, yeah? Mary Lou? Mary Lou Morales. Hello, Mary Lou. I don't know if she can hear us.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Here, hey, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'd love for you to introduce yourself.
Sorry, I'm not ready right now. I just got out of bed. Sorry.
Not my thing yet. Okay. Too early in the morning still. Are you in, where are you located at? In Hawaii?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. Excited.
Thank you.
Is that Jill down there too? I love it. Jill, what's up, Jill? Good to have you guys back. I love it. All right. Well, people are still popping in here. Let's go. Tell me something good while everybody's rolling in. I got everybody's cameras on. I get to see everybody's faces. This is amazing. I love it. Tell me something good. Somebody's got something good. Come on. Somebody will be good. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm 37 freaking days in. I'm halfway done with that freaking 75 hard. I'm telling you right now, that's gangster. I'm telling you, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And if I was a woman, I'd say give childbirth, but that's not I'm not a woman. But this is hard. For a man, this is probably not equal. It's just crazy. It's insane. And I didn't even think I'd even make it this far, to be quite honest. And that's sad. That's so freaking sad that I'm even saying that out loud right now to you people, because I have every ability to do so, and I just didn't have the faith in myself. But it's crazy. I find my body is dying because I have to work out 7 days a week, twice a day, and I get no days off. It is like no days off. My body is screaming at me right now. So I'm like, all right. And I'm like 99 years old. So it's different. If I were in my 20s, it'd be different, but I'm not. I'm like 90. I'm Asian 90. Which means,
you're looking good. You're looking good, Chris. You're looking good.
God, it's hard. It is so hard. Okay,
Chris.
Huh?
Chris, you should talk to Fantastic.
She did too. Huh?
She like went to she was at 75 days and somebody gave her something that had sugar in it and she freaking started over.
Oh my God.
She started over. And she finished. And she finished.
That's even better than me right there, because I would probably say screw that. I'm like, sugar. Oh my God, good for her. That is freaking committed. Good for her. God, I got to her. And she looks amazing though. My God, what a transformation. She looks amazing. So it's everything. It's all encumbered of your mind, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. It's everything. So anyways, that's my good news. Who else got some good news on here? Somebody. Come on. I know you guys. Don't be shy. Anybody new on the call? Go ahead, Cindy. What's that?
Going to Spain.
Go on. She's breaking up. I heard Spain.
And Paris. And we're going to see the boss.
Awesome.
And we're going to see the boss for So that's gonna be fun.
Okay, I heard something. Spain and Paris, and you're traveling the world.
Bruce Springsteen, is that what she's talking about?
Bruce Springsteen? Is that what you
Yeah.
said? The boss?
Yeah, how come you guys can't hear me?
Oh, there we go. Now we can.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to
Yeah,
Spain.
Bruce Springsteen concert in Paris.
Oh, God, I love it. All
I'm
right.
going to Versailles on Mother's Day.
Oh, shoot. That's awesome. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
I'm excited.
Can't wait to live. I want to be you when I grow up, Cindy. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. I want to go to Paris and Spain and watch the boss.
There you go.
I'm doing it.
I'll send you pictures.
Definitely, please. Post that stuff. We'd love to see it. Oh, my God. Good for you. Safe travels, by the way.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Hi, Sam Bentley. How are you? Got to call her out and say hi.
Good. How are you?
Good. Got to see you on the calls now too. To San Diego, Hawaii. It's awesome. I love it.
Yes. I actually get to have good news then. I think I'm the first Californian to ever join the team agency in Hawaii officially as of yesterday. So I'm so excited about that and to see
Look at that,
my
Dylan.
new journey in as a San Diegan. So I'm
San
so
Diego.
excited you guys are taking me in.
I love it. San Diego. I think it's San Diego. Is that what it is?
San Diegan, yeah. That's what I always
San
said.
Diego. I love it. Good for you. Congratulations. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
agency in Hawaii. Look at that. The first Californian. Dylan, you're spreading your wings, buddy. You're going everywhere. You're like Santa Claus, man. You're omnipresent.
You gotta
Two steaks, man, just the beginning.
He's great. Agency's gonna be all over the world. I love it. I love it. Awesome. All right. Anybody else got some good news? Congratulations, Sam. Welcome. And you've always been part of the team, but welcome. Anybody new on here? Besides our amazing special guest, Rockstar, but we'll leave that here in a minute. What's up, Bo Benjamin?
Not much, man.
Good to see you. And Jeff Smith, look at you, my friend. How are you?
What's going on? How's everybody been?
Well, welcome. Good to see you, my friend.
You too?
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to jump into this since nobody else wants to be daring and tell about something amazing in their life because they're all shy. I don't know why, but we're going to move on to our guest speaker and give her the opportunity. So Tierny Jordan, Tierny, you spoke at Build one time, yeah? With for Brent. That's like the first time I ever saw her is on stage at Build. And she is remarkable. She has a resume beyond all resumes and accolades beyond accolades that stack onto accolades. She's a rock star. But I recently was reintroduced to you. Your name came up, actually, Tierny, when I was in Puerto Rico. And I was hanging out with Kinder and Reese and Woods. And like kept talking about Tierny Jordan did this and Tierny Jordan did that and Tierny Jordan did this. Like, I got to reach out to Tierny Jordan, man. Because I remember her being a rock star with an amazing resume once on Build. So that's why I reached out to the point. I was like, God, I would love for you to come share what you're doing. I know you have a lot of just success in whatever you're doing with EXP and prior to EXP for years. I mean, you were ranked like #1, even at Keller Williams. So you've been a path that's been roaring down the track for a while. So anyways, she accepted. We played tag for a while and she was super busy and gone. And so I was like, finally just back and forth, text. And yeah, let's make this happen. And she came on and says, yes, let's do it. So super excited and blessed, first off, Tierny, that you had time to carve out today to come and share with the group your journey, your resume, your skills, your knowledge, whatever you're doing right now. You're crushing it in all areas right now at EXP. I think you did 1,700 transactions your team did last year in 2022. Was it over 1,700 transactions you guys did? So not only that, but then her personal team has been rolling really hard that she has out there in Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. So without further ado, let's let you do the speaking here. I'll step out here and let you have the stage. Thank you again, Tierny. We're excited and welcome.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you for reaching out, Chris. I'd love to share. I've been sharing before I came to EXP. So outside of recruiting purposes, I love to share what I've learned because when I got started, I had a broker who helped me hands-on with everything, and it really built my foundation. And I've learned a lot from a lot of people. So I'm grateful to be able to help in any way that I can. Do you guys have any questions for me? Because I can go in very different directions. So are there any specific questions that I can answer or start with, or do you guys want me to just kind of roll?
I don't know. Anyway, I'd love to hear everybody else would love to hear your journey. I mean, you've been very successful in your entire career. You owned your own brokerage too, right? Correct. So you've been all facets. We have a lot of Jill and Eric, broker owners. They've had theirs too. And they've now stepped into EXP. So we have all range of people in the group here. I think if you, whatever you want to share with us as far as like either things you're doing, you got a training program right now. You're really kind of honed in on recently, right? You're coaching currently. So,
Yes. Yeah. And it's really just a necessity because I have people who don't necessarily want to join my organization, but want to work with me for coaching. So it's just something that I've put together out of a necessity deal or, so yeah, let's dive in. So I got my real estate license in 2006. I came from corporate America and my goal was to just make 6 figures. My first 3 years being in the business for myself, I went from having 1 child to 5 children. So I 4 times my child count my first 3 years. And I still hit my 6-figure goal. So I'm grateful for that. It wasn't easy. I'll say that. I tell everybody that all the time. And I ended up, so what has really helped me push my business is I started my own marketing, internet marketing in 2011. So I started generating leads through Google. And back then there wasn't Zillow, Realtor.com. So I was competing with other real estate agents. And it was a lot cheaper and a lot less competitive back then. I brought somebody on quickly after because I realized I wasn't suited to run those leads myself. That person is still with me, runs my marketing team today. And we generate business online. That's our bread and butter. We control it. So we control our costs. We control the types of people we're attracting to us. And that, I feel like that has kind of been the thing that has attracted other people to want to join my team, my organization, because I can help them set up their marketing. And right now, I'll tell you guys what has been working for us really well is we find areas that are in high demand. So the way that we size up an area is through our MLS as well as through a keyword tool analyzer. So we find areas that are higher price point. So we know that they're not going to be first-time home buyers, so they'll likely have something to sell. So higher price point, the inventory moves pretty quickly. So we're looking at how many properties are active or coming soon currently, and then we'll look at how many houses in that same area sell every 30 days. So we're looking for that inventory to move like within 30 days. And then we also look at the sales price to list price percentage. So we want the areas with a higher sales price to list price percentage because it tells us that people want to be there, right? So that one of the areas that we market to here, people are still paying over list price. So we'll take those areas, put them in a free keyword tool analyzer, and just see how many people are searching every month for those areas. So that's how we're sizing them up. And of course, we want the least amount of competition, the lower cost per click, right, would be the goal. So that's a little bit about what I've done. I have like 550 agents in my EXP organization. I have 11 agents on my local sales team here in Dallas. Any questions for me, you guys? Anybody want to dig into anything that I've said?
So real quick, you're doing online. So you're generating, is that what you did with the funnel? Are you doing the funnels thing that Woods and them share with you? You know, your name kept coming up over there. So
yeah, so I started, so a funnel is like a landing page, right? And it's, you get hooked into that funnel through something, like flashy, right? To make people want to click. So I've been doing funnels through buyer and seller attraction, right? Websites since 2011. Woods showed me a way to do it for agent attraction. So I hadn't put myself online for people to find me in terms of agent attraction up until I started working with Woods, and he shared some strategies. So I was doing the same stuff, but mainly for buyers and sellers. So they kind of showed me some really simple things to implement to open up the agent attraction stuff and automate it a little more.
Gotcha.
Prior to that, I was doing live lunch and learns. So that's how I grew my organization, was getting in front of people and hosting a lunch and learn. So I would share for 30 minutes deposit value, and then we talk about EXP for the last 15 minutes. So it was like a 45-minute deal, and I was doing one a week. So I grew pretty quickly when I first came over with that.
Gotcha.
Which social media channels or is it email that you use to reach your clients, your audience?
So in terms of like what we're doing right now, and we switch things up because the market changes, different things work, right? So to attract buyers and sellers, we're marketing communities that are in high demand, and we're marketing more new construction because we realize there's a huge gap. Like builders don't really do a good job at marketing. A lot of agents aren't marketing specific communities online. So there's not much competition, which means our cost per click is a lot lower. And we focus on higher end communities, so luxury, new construction. And what we do is we'll have a simple landing page, right? That landing page is going to have something like the image in the background is going to be something that's going to attract people to that community. For example, we have a community that has a lagoon here. People move to that community for the lagoon, right? So we have a picture of the lagoon in the background, and then we have a place where they can get more information. So they click on it, and basically they give us their information so they can get more info. From that point, we have 4 emails that go out within a week. And it's deposits of value. So it's depositing value about the community. Our goal is to get a response from them before we push them into our CRM. So all of this stuff is happening outside of the CRM. They're keyword driven to us. They get to our website. They give us their information. They answer a survey. And then they get these series of 4 emails that are deposits of value and 1 text message. And we have over 50% open rate for our emails. We have an 80% response rate on our texts.
That's great.
Yeah. So for those right now, Tierny, that are different levels here, Eric is probably a higher level on the tech side and doing website stuff. For the majority of the rest of us aren't. And what would be a good starting point for a lot of these people here that are on the call or on the meeting here to get started? Like, what would be at first like a crawling step to get towards that direction?
So the first thing is to figure out like who your customer market is, right? Who do you want to market to? For me, I wanted to find higher end buyers because up until 2 years ago, my niche was people who looked like me. That's what I went after. I didn't have a brand, right? So I marketed to communities where I like the area that I lived in because I was new in the business. So I'm like, I already know the area. I know about the schools. I know how close shopping is. I know where the restaurants are, so I don't have to educate myself on that, right? And I felt like it would be easier to work with people who look like I look, right? So that's what I did for the majority of my career. My sales price was lower. So, and I have a team, so I'm like, we're putting in a lot of work. We could be making more money. So we decided to increase our sales price, go into different areas, but you have to figure out if you're newer, you got to figure out where you're going to be comfortable putting yourself out there. Like, who are you going to market to? Who are you going to deliver value to? So that's what I did, right? Next step is what's going to be your platform, right? I chose Google. Google's the #1 search engine. I know most people start their search online, right? We all know that. We all know over 86% of people are going to use a realtor. So if I know they're going to use us, I know they're going to start their search online, I'm going to get in front of them online. So that was my decision. But how are you going to get in front of these people is what you have to decide, right? And you have to always come from a place of delivering value. So I'm not reaching out when they register. I'm not calling them, hey, when are you going to be ready to buy? When are you going to be ready to sell? My first communication is delivering value. Like, I'm here as a resource for you. Can I answer any questions, get to know your situation a little bit better? Or if I'm following up, I'm always calling with value, something that they wouldn't know about. So do you guys have coming soons? If you have coming soons in your MLS, that's a great resource, right? Using AI to get information about, like, what are the top 5 restaurants in this community for families, reaching out with value, and then ask the questions. So figure out who your customer market is going to be, like who you really want to focus on, and then how you're going to get in front of them. And then how are you going to deliver them value? How are you going to bring them information that they couldn't find themselves? And do that consistently, because the money is in the follow-up, right? So having a follow-up process in place, which you guys have probably heard, but most people just don't do it. Most salespeople make 2 calls to a lead. Less than 10% make more than 2 calls. So creating a schedule so that you have a follow-up built in to what you do. So you're following up with those people. That's the magic pill right there.
Yeah, the gold is in the follow-up. And what are some of you, obviously at EXP now, do you guys utilize the KV Core system with your setup, or are you using alternative resources for your follow-up, and what's that look like?
I don't use KV Core because I started with Boomtown back in 2011. So when I came to EXP, I had over 100,000 people in Boomtown, and I couldn't migrate all of my data in without manual input for some of it. So I decided to just keep it in Boomtown. Boomtown is just my platform, right? I do all of my other stuff outside. So I use Callfire. I use GetResponse. I don't pull them into the CRM until they've answered questions on my survey and they've responded to either one of my 4 emails or my text.
Gotcha.
And it's like the source, like GetResponse, Callfire, those things are not expensive at all. And then I pull everything into a spreadsheet. So I haven't used this Google Meet too much, but I could show you guys like a sample.
You can just hit that box with the arrow going up. It's a present now.
And then do I just do my entire screen?
If you could, or you get it, yeah, entire screen, then you can go to your page. Yeah, it'll go to your entire screen, and you can go to the page that you're trying to share with us.
All right, so let's do this.
Hey, Tierny, are you only using Google for ads or using any other platform?
Yeah, Google.
Okay.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I can see you're going through your email right now, your Gmail.
All right, so let me go in here and I'm just gonna pull up my so like here's some of the text responses that we'll get, and we have a high response rate with what people are telling us that they need. These are just some of the campaigns that we run, and we'll just pull them in here, and then we use Zap to zap them in. So if I show you guys, if I just pull up a lead here. Let me pull up. So the system is gonna zap in all the information that we collected from them in the survey that we do. So it's pretty simple. It's not like rocket science by any means.
Nice. But you definitely have a system, which is important. Okay. And so currently you have 11 agents on your team. What does that comprise of? Like all buyers agents, listers, or you have there's ISAs? What do you have in there in that 11?
So I have 2 leads, and they've both been in the business over 20 years. So they work with the newer agent. So I work more with my leaders, and then I build under them, and I give them just a percentage off the top of closed transactions. And I let my agents can do listings or buyers. I don't have buyers agents or listing agents.
Right.
So they can do either one.
Gotcha.
I have a marketing team. That's where, and an admin. So the majority, I don't have a lot of cost, but I spend most of my money on marketing. We have a transaction department too, so they handle all the paperwork for the agents. And then we do the listing input, all of the marketing for the listings.
Okay. Awesome. And so what is your forecast then for as a group of 11, you outside of not your EXP team, but what does your group of 11 usually do in production per year? And like, what are you guys shooting for this year?
So we do about 200 transactions annually.
That's still really solid. And so are you now focused more on the agent attraction side and kind of veered away from the production? Like, is that like ultimately what does that transition look like?
Yeah, I'm not in production. So I don't do any transactional work. It's more training, empowering other people to be able to do like what I've done, to get into a leadership role or whatever they want to do. So it's all about the people that I partner with. I am focused on agent attraction too, but I'm still building my team here because of the systems and processes that I have in place. I mean, they're powerful. So it wouldn't make sense for me to, let that go. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's hard to transition in both those phases. I think as anybody gets in this business from a large team perspective that you've been running for years, and then the transition to the EXP opportunity, right? Which is leverage at a different level that allows you to kind of eventually maybe potentially see yourself out of that role and live in a different lifestyle. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, I love the fact that you sharing all your stuff with us. Thank you, by the way. And you actually have a remarkable history of business. Obviously, 200 transactions a year in your personal team, 1,700 in your EXP team. And so what are you building as far as like community-wise, like for you now, the your EXP agents, the agent attraction side, what are you building for that? Would you mind sharing, like, are you building stuff for like community? Like I see a lot of people like the Kinder Reese and their kind of One Big Fire, like Mike Sherrard, the Wolf Pack. Everybody's building stuff. We have our Team Freedom. Can you share a little bit about what you're doing on your end for your team and your group for culture and community kind of thing?
Yeah, so I'm working on the culture and community piece. When I first came to EXP, I really fell in love with the opportunity. And I really that was the thing that I pushed out there to the people that I talked to. It was the EXP opportunity, not necessarily me, or what I do, but take a look at this. And this is life-changing. This is the ability to build generational wealth. So I kind of focused on that, right? I signed up 30 people in 30 days in my EXP organization, and it was just being purposeful on sharing an opportunity that I really believe in, and I still believe in it. I don't know, I sat down with my husband because he's in real estate too, and we have 5 kids. I think I said that in the beginning. So your work-life balance and, you make money to support the life that you want to live. And I remember we sat down and we looked at the EXP opportunity. We've been here for a little bit over 4 years. And we're like, is there anything else that we could do in this time period to make this amount of money passively? And we really couldn't think of, we do investments and stuff. We flip, we have rental properties, but we couldn't really think of just apples to apples, like the opportunity, like duplicating that or having that opportunity anywhere else. So we just got serious about putting time into it, you know, because you can see the opportunity and think it's great and determine like, hey, I got to get to a certain place in my business before I can start, you know, sharing the opportunity. And I didn't do that. I was like, I'm going to get into it because I think other people should know about this who are in real estate. Like if you're in real estate, you should know about EXP and you should know what it offers to you, you know? So I think that was my big thing. Now I have lost a lot of people too, you know? So that's where the culture and having like systems and processes in place, which I'm in the process of building as we speak. You know, it's a, you know, when you have over 500 people that are all, because my organization is all throughout the US, Canada, Mexico, and India. So how do you build culture with people you've never met? How do you build culture with people who speak a different language? How do you build culture with people you don't see? You know, there's all these different factors that I haven't figured out, but I'm, you know, going through it and, you know, trying to figure it out as I go, to be honest with you. What I'm doing first and foremost is I'm creating, sharing my systems so that they can see like, hey, this is how I did this. This is how I've done that. So the same stuff I share with the people who join my team, I've created my own CRM. I've white labeled a CRM. So all of my landing pages, my squeeze pages, my funnels are built in the CRM, and I'm putting all my automation. So I'll easily be able to share that with anybody who joins me, you know? So I'm just starting from there because it can really be overwhelming when you sit up and you're like, how do I do this? I don't know exactly.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's challenging. And that's the key is it's like, I think I'm the same boat with you, just trying to rebuild things and find it as you go. And to find a way to niche everybody has different personalities, different behavior patterns, different quirks. It's really hard and you really aren't going to accommodate everybody. And it's a challenge, but nonetheless, it's something that's very important. Anybody else got any questions? I don't want to be, maybe I gotta jump in there and throw something. Just
I'll say something.
go for it, Courtney.
Hi, Tierny.
Hi.
So obviously you're teaching your team to do all these things, but where did you learn to do it? Like, how did you learn to do the Google ads and the landing pages and the squeeze pages and all that? Where, like, did you take training or did you just go online to figure it out? How did you learn?
So all of the above. The company that I worked for before I got my real estate license was a mortgage company. I worked there for 8 years. The last 3 years that I was there, I was building websites for them, for their loan officers. So I learned how to build websites. I learned that they were marketing their loan officers online and they were getting a good amount of business through that. And my degree is management information systems. So I learned like the business side as well as the tech side and how they kind of go together. So with those things, and then back in 2011, I really felt like Google was where it was at. I started just looking at online stuff to build my own Google ads. So I built my own ads in the beginning and I created a basic like landing page, you know, and got to a point where I saw that I was getting results, but I felt like I could get better results if I brought somebody in. So I hired somebody who didn't have a background in this, but I knew their personality was more of a person who likes to be in front of a computer, not a people person, right? In sales, you want people who like to be in front of other people. But for this role, I'm like, I need somebody who's okay with like looking at code and looking at the analytics and optimization, you know? So I found somebody that didn't have the experience, invested in them. That person runs my marketing team today still. So he's been with me since 2011. So I kind of like had a little bit of background in it, figured out what I didn't know through online. And then once I got to a certain place that I knew like I needed somebody else, I fired myself in that position and hired somebody to do it. But I knew kind of what it was going to take, like what I was looking for someone. So I think it was important for me to do it first.
Yeah.
I am kind of the people person, so I'm not a techie person. So if I were looking for somebody to do it for me, where would I look?
I would look for like a CS style. So C's are going to be detail oriented. S's are supporters. So they don't want to be like in the spotlight. They want to support. They want to push somebody else out into the spotlight. So I would look for somebody who has that personality style, who's going to stick with you, you know, because if they build all of your ads out and they're like, they know all this stuff, you want to keep them around, right?
So that might be one of the things, Courtney, you might start off with running a disc, like putting an ad out, maybe, right? An ad of some sort to attract people to you, and then running a series of kind of like disc profiles and see what they actually fall under. And if they do fall under the SC, that's one of the things I would look at and maybe take them to the next step. We used to do that too. And then we'd validate that too, right? It would, just because they did the test, we would validate the test to make sure that's truly who they were. Because a lot of people will show up sometimes and do the test and not really be what they say they are. When you validate it, you find out really they are by a series of questions. And that would be identified basically like that. Exactly, yeah. Good questions. Thanks, Courtney. Any another one you got? I actually wanted to ask a little bit too, like, what are you doing? Obviously, since 2023, this year, latter part, the market shifted. I'm sure you guys are affected by it too, like everybody else. What kind of conversations are you having with your team? What have you done differently with your team the last, let's say, 10 months that you've had to realign yourself to get back on track and stay in front of the 8 ball, so to speak, with your business to stay on track? What kind of conversation you guys have with you and your team?
We talk about motivation, just finding the motivated, having more than you need. So if you want to close 2 deals, we used to say you should have 4 hot A's. If you want to close, 3, 6 hot A's, double of what you need. So that hasn't changed. Honestly, like the marketing that we do is driving the motivated to us. So we haven't seen that we have to make more calls. And I think it's really just because we're scrubbing the leads, like we're advertising certain keywords. Once they get to a certain point, they're filling out a survey, they're doing all the stuff on the front end before we even pull them in to where my agents can see them. So they're motivated. Like the people that we zap in, they've gone through a 4-step process and they've communicated with us. So I think if I were somebody looking to build something up, I would look to do that, even though it's going to cost money. But otherwise, if you're gonna like randomly cold call people, you're going to spend more time on that. I'd rather invest a little bit more money to save my time, and that would be just my thing, right? So I think that's always been our process. Buyers are liars, buyers change their mind. So you got to have double what you need because everything's not going to go through, right? But I think if you tweak your process to where you're pulling in people who are motivated, you're attracting people who are motivated to you, and that's who you respond to, that's what I would focus on.
Gotcha. Yeah. Which is all targeted though through your online system, right? So it's not naturally something you're like personally doing. It's automated at this point.
It's automated, yeah. So like if somebody typed in "sell my home now," I mean, that's a costly keyword. I wouldn't pay for that right now. I mean, that could cost you, but you can kind of gauge like that person's probably ready to do something, opposed to if somebody typed in like, "what's my home worth?" Somebody's inquiring about their home value. They may just want to know what it's worth now since the market's appreciated. They might want to refinance, So you can start with the keywords that you choose, right? What we found is people who are looking for new construction communities, they're pretty much ready to do something. And the cost per click is really economical when you compare it. And if you find a move-up community, like these aren't first-time home buyers, you're going to get sellers too with it. So that has just been our like win for the last couple of years. And it's kind of protected us from like getting just a whole bunch of junk coming in or a looky-loos. Not saying that we don't get, I mean, everybody who comes in doesn't give us their right contact information, isn't necessarily ready to go right now. But a 30%, we have a 30% conversion, which is way better than where we started with the online advertising.
Yeah. So to kind of give everybody maybe an idea of overview, if you don't mind sharing, like what is a cost per lead kind of thing that people would have to like think about spending at this point, if that's the direction they want to go, online leads. That,
yeah. So if you are an individual agent and you're looking to feed yourself, of course, the cost per click, it depends on a lot of things, right? Your area, with the average sales prices, it's going to be higher for different areas, the demand, the competition. So I can't give you an exact number, but I would say if you spend about $1,200 a month for yourself as an individual, you should get to a closing within 3 months, right? So that, and you may spend $3,600 get to a closing, but if you have it set up right, every month thereafter, you should have a closing from it. So you just need to watch your ads. So Google optimizes, okay? Google is they're like, whose ads should I show? Whose ads are gonna make people click, right? You have to pay to be seen, but you also have to have the right things to make people click once you are seen, right? So I would say watch your ads daily and optimize it. So if you're getting a whole bunch of rentals, put a negative keyword in there and say, I don't want to see rentals for, like, say your area was San Diego homes, right? And you were getting a whole bunch of rentals for San Diego. You could optimize your ad and make that a negative keyword so your ad doesn't pop up when people type in San Diego home rentals, right? So I would say be super focused on how the ad is performing, because once you get seen, if people aren't clicking on your ad, you got to switch it up.
Yeah.
Now, Google allows for a dynamic, and I don't do this myself, but I'm just giving you like a high level picture of it. So you can, before you would have to have these fixed ads. So you'd have like your headline and you'd have the wording under it, and that would be the ad that you would run. Now they give you like a whole bunch of slots for your headline, a whole bunch of slots for the wording underneath, right? So you can put things in there and Google will mix and match them and optimize it by seeing which ones are getting the responses for you, right? So you can do that too. And on top of that, you can go in and look at it and optimize it as well. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm not real techie, but I just know a little bit, enough to understand, right?
Well, yeah, obviously you're doing something right to get the production you're doing. Obviously, I guess the bottom moral of the story is it's potentially able to be done by anybody. Obviously, I mean, it's probably easier for some than others, but this is definitely a path which we can see in the real estate market is very effective right now because, the percentage of people online looking for homes is high. So you're either going to spend your time, like you said, cold calling like the traditional way, open house, door knocking, or whatever, which is a great series as well. But the online has been your success and your driver in your business for years, and it's worked for you. So, I mean, appreciate you sharing that with us for sure, because obviously it's a success story there in itself. Any other questions anybody has for, on this part of maybe understanding a little bit better on what her processes are? I know it might be a little bit over for me too. It's kind of like a little bit, but because I'm not also into the Google ad thing either. But again, I know it works. It's very effective. I'm actually just finishing the same program that Woods and Kinder out in Puerto Rico, like the funnel. So I'm doing the same thing, working on that process. For my agent attraction side, same process. So it's coming to a final end, but it's been very challenging because my creative thought process does not really work in that wheelhouse. It's been like screaming nails down the chalkboard. But I'm just pushing through and making it happen because I want to see the end in that and see it through.
Sure.
So yeah, for anybody out there who's listening to this, it can be done, because if I can do it, just be honest, anybody can do it, but it just takes some process of creative thought process and really put in the effort. and forcing yourself to stay in a room and lock the door and don't leave until it's done. That's what I had to do 2 weekends ago to literally get it to where I'm at right now. So, but anyways, yeah, we got about 10 minutes left over. Anybody got any ideas here or anything at all? Questions, concerns, issues, or for Tierny?
I have another question, Tierny. If you're using the Google ads and things to do agent attraction, once they come into your system, do they just sign up under you, or like do you like meet with them? How does that work in terms of your agent attraction side?
So this is new for me. But what I've been doing is so I told you guys when I first started growing my organization, I was doing lunch and learns. The lunch and learn that was so attractive that everybody wanted was my 20 listings in 30 days. So I've personally taken 20 listings in 30 days. That's hot, right? That people want to know about that. People are clicking on that. So what I've done, I presented my 20 listings in 30 days on Zoom for 4 weeks straight. Okay, this is Woods. This is Woods' program here. So 4 weeks straight presented online on Zoom. I recorded it every time, and then I picked the best one from the 4 weeks and I made it into an on-demand. And now I'm not using Google for that. I'm just using Facebook, and I spend $20 a day to push that on-demand class, right? So let me show you my website. Once they go to it, let me see. 20. Wait, I gotta get back to you guys. Here y'all are. Sorry, I'm a Zoom girl. So
Oh, good.
Can we get that Zoom recording?
I'm giving you the on-demand. See, it's like live. All right, share. So this is the website right here, 20listingsin30days.com. And when people go, they watch it, right? And then when they go in here to sign up for this on-demand, I get their contact information. And then they have a way at the end of and you can watch it. I think it's like 45 minutes long. But you can watch it and just see like how I do it. But at the end of it, I just say, hey, if you want more information about my systems, my processes, if you want to know what it would be like, and you can watch it and just see exactly what I'm saying. If you want to know what it would be like to partner with me and have access to my systems and processes at no charge, schedule a time. So literally I have, if I pull up my calendar, I have on average 5 to 7 appointments a day from this. And this, like today I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tomorrow I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every day it's 5 to 7 appointments from this. Now, everybody does not necessarily want to come to EXP right away, right? And I have EXP people on there. So that's what's made me say, you know what, I have to put together a system for coaching, because I have people who want what I have, but they're already at EXP, or they don't want to come to EXP. But it's all through this, you know, little on demand. Now, I would say you have to have some value. Like, I'm bringing value to people. I'm not just sitting up there talking about whatever. Like, I'm sharing value. If you watch my 20 listings in 30 days, you'll see value in there. So what could you do to deposit value to an agent? And what's something that's hot? That's good. Like, I've been running with this 20 listings in 30 days for 5 years. And it's still just as hot as it was 5 years ago today.
Yeah.
So what's your hook? You know, Woods, and then we'll talk about it. Like, what's your hook? What's going to bring people? Now, I've deposited, somebody said they can't. Can everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay. I've deposited value into the real estate agent community for years. So I'm just in a place where I'm pulling out. I'm withdrawing because I've already deposited. So you know, when I had my own brokerage, when I was with KW for 5 years, I was giving free classes, you know? So it's not like I just stepped on the scene and boom, I did this magical thing and all of a sudden I get all these people. No, I've been working for years and putting value back into the real estate community, you know? So what is it that you can do that will bring value to people, and put it out there. And you can, like, Woods told me about TubeBuddy, which is a Google plugin, Google Chrome plugin. So if you go onto your YouTube account and you install that plugin, you can type in different titles to see how many people would search for that. So it's going to kind of rank it and tell you if it's a good title or not. My 20 listings in 30 days is like off the charts, but that's something that I did. And I know people like listings, so I was sharing on it originally, not just trying to attract people to me, you know.
Yeah. Got it. No, I very similar. Like when I went to the courses, they had to tell you, what is your hook? What is your value proposition? What is the thing that people want to see? What is your superpower? Actually, what's your superpower, right? Everybody's got a superpower. And you got to figure out what that is. And a lot of people on this call have amazing superpowers. And I actually underrated my superpower for a while I was there, and he maybe had to drag it out. And it's like, oh, wow, that is a superpower. And so reluctantly, sometimes what I think is naturally this disbelief that we don't think we have a natural superpower that we want to offer people. We really do. We have a lot of value. We have super talent and skills that people want to hear. So it's just you sharing with it, which is amazing. I think that's how the agent attraction piece is working. And that's the angle I'm using as well. I'm putting in my superpower or my niche or my plug. So I appreciate that.
I was going to share this with you guys. So I have this multi-platform marketing machine. So this is kind of what I do. Can you guys see that document?
Yeah, it's highlighted in fluorescent green.
Yeah. So this talks about like, why are you making your content? Who's going to be your end person that you want to impact, right? Establishing your keywords. So here's like one of my deals. So I start with this, and this came from Woods, just having a super organized headline, description, tags. So I post my full video on YouTube, and then I share it straight from YouTube to Twitter. I share it straight from YouTube to LinkedIn. I share it straight from YouTube to my Facebook business page, and then I boost it. I share it from my Facebook business page to my Facebook personal, and then I take a 1-minute clip, which is my intro. So when I'm making my video, I have my intro, my full content, and then my outro, and I use that intro for my Instagram, and then I send it to 20 people a day in Messenger. I also take that same clip and put it on TikTok, and then I email it to my database. So I have right now about 2,000 people in my database just from this 20 listings in 30 days. And I have my template for my email. I speak to 10 people a day about the value in that video. And then I also take my video. So if you do your video in Zoom, okay, you are going to get a audio file along. So if you record it in Zoom, it's going to give you your video file and your audio. So I take that audio and I put it on a podcast, right? And then when you post it in YouTube, you can go and get the transcript from your YouTube video, and you can remove the timestamps and just copy it and create a blog post. So I'm taking the content from that one video and repurposing it, and it really doesn't take a whole bunch of time. But I realized, like, you can be a superhero and just be hidden, right? You can be a I can't even think of the word, the highway, you see these billboards, right? You can be a big billboard on the highway, or you can be a billboard in the middle of the desert and nobody knows about you. So like Chris said, you have some value and you have to put it out there into the world to see who's going to be attracted to that. Everybody has something that they're going to bring, right? And the cool thing about it is you're going to know pretty quickly if what you're speaking on right now is what people want to hear, because you'll see like the views you get, the clicks you get, the responses you get, right? And it may not be the first thing that you throw out there, right? It may take you several things for people like, oh my God, you know, Courtney, I love what you said about this. You know, I had a lady schedule time with me yesterday. She's like, I've watched your on demand 3 times in the last 24 hours. I just watched it just before we got on this. And who would have known?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So every one of us has something of value that we can bring. Even if you're newer, what did you do before you got into this? And what do you think is going to help increase your real estate business? And you can help other people with that, right? And then taking that content and repurposing it across the different platforms would be my recommendation, instead of just choosing one in the beginning, because you don't know which one's really going to respond to you the best.
Yeah, true. You diversify it, get better results. Would you mind sharing that with us? That
Yeah. Can you put the
in the chat box, if you can, like that link for that repurposing of the.
Okay. Yeah. Me.
Share that, and it'll go on there when I record this. It actually transcripts out for me.
Okay.
I'll be able to copy paste that and put it in the Google Classroom.
I will, if you can just send me your email, and I'm going to share it with you if you don't mind, because it's still like not all the way finished. So
Okay.
it's kind of an editable, like it's still in a document. So I've been working through it, but once I get it all the way done, I can just share it with you.
Totally. Yeah, I'll see the email for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Vanita, you had a question real quick. We got about 7-8 minutes. Go ahead. You're muted, Vanita.
Gosh, now I forgot my question. I had a question for something else, but I would like to know also, when did you come to EXP and why? And who brought you? What made you come?
So I've been at EXP for a little bit over 4 years. And before I was here, I was at Keller Williams. Before I was at Keller Williams, I actually had my own brokerage. So people are probably like, that's backwards, but it really isn't. Because I went to KW at first because of their expansion model. So I wanted to expand beyond my little town. I wanted to be able to partner with agents all over, share my systems and tools with them, right? KW is just launching this expansion model. So the OP, or the owner of the market center, had been talking to me for over a year about bringing my brokerage there and taking advantage of this expansion model. So I got there, I went there for that. I realized, to me, it wasn't what I thought it was. Every time I expanded into another market center, I paid another $21,000 cap to that market center just to be part of it, right? So there was too many pieces of the pie getting chopped up for me. A friend of mine who I paid for coaching, who was big with internet marketing. I had been paying him for coaching for a couple of years, and then we became friends. He owned his own independent brokerage, decided to pay, I think it was like $380,000 to get out of that to go to EXP. And he's telling me about it. And I was like, dude, you're having an early midlife crisis, because he was like in his 30s. And I'm like, it doesn't even make sense. His brokerage, they were ranked in the top 10 in the Wall Street Journal for 5 straight years before he decided to pay $380,000 to get out of that to come to EXP. So I have a conversation with him. I'm thinking he's having an early midlife crisis. And I tell him that. 2 weeks later, the market center that I was at, we were the #1 most profitable market center of all KWs. One of the top teams there, the team leader, had ownership in that market center, had been there since the beginning of that market center, like over 13 years. He announces 2 weeks after I have this, you're having an early midlife crisis conversation, he announces he's leaving KW to go to EXP. So I was like, hold on, there must be something about, EXP wasn't as popular then as it is now, right? So I call my guy and I'm like, are you still going to EXP? He said, I am. I'm just working through the legal stuff. He invited me to Mexico. He's like, come to Mexico. EXP is doing like this leadership thing. All the top people at EXP are going to be there. I'm like, okay, let's go. So me and my husband go. And I think I have a picture. I'll show it to you guys of us in Mexico. So we go, and I end up talking to Gene Frederick, and I'm with Gene on the beach, and me and my husband, we're in a cabana, and we're talking for 5 hours. And Gene completely like enlightens me about this opportunity. And I'm like, you know what? This is, I'm gonna share, let me share my screen with you guys. I was like, this is it. So I came because when I was at KW for 5 years, I didn't really like their plan that they had, right? Then I asked for ownership, and they didn't want to give me ownership. So EXP, it's not about who wants what, it's who does what. So you get compensated for your contribution, so it didn't matter. So this is us. There's Jean and Susan. This is my guy, Adam, and that's me and my husband. We're in Mexico. And this is Adam. He's the guy who introduced me. There's Glenn. So I came here because EXP has something that nobody else offers, right? Honestly, if you look at the opportunity, and it doesn't matter who you know, it doesn't matter how much money you want to invest to get the opportunity, it doesn't matter. Everybody has equal opportunity, and you get compensated for your contribution to the growth of the company. So that was very important to me. So that's why I came over.
Awesome. Adam's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're
Also, my question earlier was, would you put the link to your coaching program, please?
I don't have it yet, but I will definitely, I'll write your name down and let you know.
Please. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Awesome. We appreciate it. We're actually a little about 2 minutes over the hour. Tierny, you're amazing. I appreciate everything you share with us.
Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
And this is one of the things, again, EXP is amazing. You want to go to the events, the shareholder events, the EXP convention events, the build programs, you'll see people like Tierny there. And you get a chance to sit down and have coffee at lunch. She'll share with you all kinds of stuff. That's what's amazing about EXP, and had a chance to have this. So thank you again. And I know it's been really challenging to get our schedules matched up. I appreciate you joining and taking time out today. And as always, I love you guys, man. You're amazing. This whole entire group is amazing. This Team Freedom group is super talented too, by the way. They're rock stars all over across the US, everywhere. And I love them to death. I'll do anything for these guys. So we're excited, and thank you again. Everybody have an amazing week. Don't forget Thursdays, EXP Explained again for us guys. Same thing, 8, 11, and 2. And you guys have an amazing week. Love you guys. Go
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Have an amazing day. Thanks, Tierny.